Hello everyone, Chris Clapp here and welcome to my studio. So today's video, I want to kind of give you all a bit of a catch up on where things left off at the end of last year. But before I get started, I want to say thank you to you all out there who have been a part of this channel, who have been subscribed and have shared the videos, have commented, liked, all that stuff. It's just been amazing to me to have seen this channel grow from something really small this summer to where we are today. All I can say is thank you, and also just stay tuned. This is just the beginning. I have some big ideas for this year, and I'm really excited to implement them all and for you all to be a part of it. So that's kind of where this video kind of ties into things in a way, because you all were part of something at the end of last year. So if you all have seen my video on how to transfer a photograph to oil paint, then you might know what we were talking about. And if you haven't seen that video, it's a great video with a lot of information. You can click the link up here in the video, but I'll also have it linked down below in the description. In that video, we took a photograph I had taken of my cats, and we made a transfer of that photograph that I was going to make a painting with as a gift for my wife. Well, after we did the transfer, we then did 4 live stream sessions in which I showed you my painting process. So you all were there, you were able to tune in and watch me paint live from start to finish, essentially. I had to break up the live stream process of the painting into 4 live streams just because I only had a couple hours here and there, working around my wife's availability and non-availability, obviously, in the process of painting. But it was so exciting for me to actually work on the painting live, and people were showing up, and it was great to then just kind of see the audience grow through that. And those paintings are available as a video on demand on the YouTube channel as well if you want to see those. However, I will admit that I was very new to the whole process, so the early video looks a little rough, the first one, and I got a little better through the whole process. By the 4th video, you'll see it looks a lot better. I'm a little more confident, and anyway, I've learned a lot in the process, and I really enjoyed the process of live streaming, so I'm going to be doing that more this year. I have acquired some software that another artist has told me about that I really love, and I'm trying to upgrade how I'm doing things with video and audio so it will be a better experience for you all out there. Anyway, today's video, beyond all of that stuff I just mentioned, what I've done is taken those video on demands of the 4 live streams that I just mentioned, and I have sped them up and edited them into one video so you can see the whole painting come together at once. I also would like to discuss this process with you as the paintings are coming together, so you can understand a little bit more of how I've done things. Again, if you haven't seen the video on how to transfer your image to a substrate, I recommend you check that out. That'll help you see where the painting had began, and also the use of my reference image in the live stream. Okay, so let's dive in. Okay, starting out the video, this is what the transfer looked like after I did the oil paint transfer. So you can see it's sort of a contour line drawing, which I then let dry for 1 day. Personally, just let it dry for a day before I begin to work on it, just so I can retain some of the information and not obliterate it. So now I am working on the actual painting. I start very minimal at first. In this part of the live stream video, you can't really see the transfer that well here in the video that we're looking at, but I obviously can see it well enough where I am, and I like it to be a little ghost of itself in a sense, so it's not too easy to cover up with paint. In the initial layer here, I'm essentially using two colors. I'm essentially using ultramarine blue and a transparent red oxide. And I mix those together to make a black, sort of a chromatic black that borders on sort of a brown. And as I'm working, I'm actually adjusting the two different colors so I can get something that's more brown if needed, or something that's more cool and kind of a gray. Um, I'm also using some lead white at this stage as well to lighten things up. So in the video here, you can kind of see that it's like various tones of maybe a brown, you could call it. And this is essentially those three colors, except for the pink that I put down, that's the rug under the two cats. That's a cad red light. I think I used just to add that color down there and make a light pink as well. This video here, I'm on the second day of the live stream. So in the first day, I'd streamed maybe, I think it was maybe 2 hours or so, just focusing on those areas, and then let it dry overnight. It's all pretty dry at this moment because of the colors I'm using. They're not really colors that are going to stay wet for a very long time. I chose the colors I'm using intentionally for that purpose. Titanium white will stay wet considerably longer than lead white, and so does that mixture with the ultramarine blue and the transparent red oxide. That's a very quick drying black that I mix up, certainly in comparison to, say, an ivory black. Anyway, on the second day of painting, I'm kind of trying to block in more information, use more color. So I'm going into the cat's fur and making things a little bit more of their actual color, between like the grays and the warm sienna colors, and getting a little bit more detail with the stripes of the cat on the left, and the shadow forms of the cat on the right, and his the markings of the tuxedo cat. In the first day, I was essentially treating a lot of those colors, a lot of those areas, as planes of color, like just tones. You could call it just shapes. But as I moved into the second day, I'm actually giving those tones actual definition and form, and you can kind of understand that and see it now with what I'm doing in the face of the tuxedo cat. Okay, now we're on to day 3. So again, just further refinement and making the paint a little bit more opaque in places, because I was working rather thinly at first. That's also the beauty of some of the paints that I choose to use, is they're a little on the transparent side, and it allows me to add some wonderful layering effects. And it just, I personally just like the way it works. Some people prefer an opaque paint, and that's fine, but to me, sometimes that lacks the richness that you can get with oil paint when you're using paint that allows you to add a little bit more complexity with layering. Anyway, here on day 3 is just adding more color in places where I was adding some refinement. So at this point, I'm working into the white fur of that one cat, and there's a lot of color, like lavenders and things in the shadows, which are kind of fun. And yeah, there you can kind of see some of this that I'm using. And this third day, I think this stream, I forget now, but it may have also been kind of a 2-hour stream, but I wasn't working very efficiently during that 2-hour period. You probably saw I got up a little earlier and stepped away. I had to go feed the cats. So that was the process that I'm using. I probably could have done this a lot quicker, but I was definitely a little distracted with how I was working on the painting and doing the live stream as well. Okay, now we're on to the final day of painting, and this is where the painting comes together and it's finished. I spend time just refining the image better, just adding some glazing, shadows, um, kind of scumbling highlights in places. So things definitely feel much more fur-like, and there's very just the form and the shapes are less flat now. I'm adjusting colors, you could see there with the rug, just making sure that that is more sort of a cooler in the background to push it back. But anyway, this process was so fun. I really enjoyed working on this painting live stream, and I'm very excited to do the process once again. Like I said earlier, I've spent some time researching and investing in a few things, and I definitely want to incorporate this more often this year. So maybe in I can do it like once a week or something like that. So stay tuned, and we'll come up with some sort of schedule that's going to work great, because I really would like to do this, and it's just fun because you can then ask questions of me during the whole process and see what I'm doing, every brush stroke along the way. But here's the final painting pretty much. I'm just kind of hitting some final details, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And obviously my wife is very happy. She loves it, and I think it's great. But I'm delighted to share the information I know and how I paint with you all. So let's do this again in the near future. But again, I appreciate every one of you, and I thank all of you for taking the time to watch my videos and to be a part of this. So let's do this again soon. Thank you, everyone.